Welcome back to the show. 3.8 billion tokenized coming on to the ledger. What is it? How is it? Where is it? Well, somebody roll that beautiful intro so we can find out. This is getting good.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $1.47, ranging between $1.30 and $1.53. XRP is alive and well. Let's take a look at the market cap. $3.51 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.4% in the last 24. Right now, 97,900 plus for Bitcoin, but it's really hit its all-time high at 98,800 plus. So we'll keep an eye on that. Very close to 100K, and I would expect it soon enough, not financial advice. 3,400 plus right now, almost $3,500 for Ethereum. That's moving. I saw a prediction for 14,000 for Ethereum over the weekend. Now, I don't follow that as closely, so other people will have to do their work on that one. Tether right now, 132 billion plus market cap. XRP number 6 spot, $1.47. As we said, it's up 10.2 in the 24-hour, up 31.2 in the 7-day, 83 billion plus market cap. Keep an eye on that. USDC 38 billion plus. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's get started. It's linked to your private investing platform, and it's the best platform in the whole wide world. Write it down. Click the link below to get started today. Ripple, Cerebras, Zipline, you name it, Uphold, Link to itself. It's all on the platform and you can get it today, but it doesn't last long. And remember, just like Link to, you can buy Link to, but there isn't going to be any more shares of Link to. So it's like owning property in Manhattan, ladies and gentlemen, and there's only so much of that. So understand that when you go into this stuff, that's the kind of opportunity you have here. It is a premier opportunity that the wealthiest 1% of the world constantly use to keep their portfolio straight. Private equity is the secret that no one ever talks about, but we're talking about it today. Click the link below, get started. Less than 5 minutes to sign up, register, and start funding your account. That's how easy they make it, and the most affordable minimums in the industry. Breaking right here. Oh boy, it's always good when we start with something like this, isn't it? Archax launches ABDIN's 3.8 billion. Yes, that's a B. 3.8 billion money market fund as the first tokenized fund on the XRP Ledger in collaboration with, you guessed it, Ripple. Oh, it just keeps getting better today. Today in that partnership, Ripple says, with Archax and ABDIN, we're excited to announce the first tokenized money market fund on the XRP Ledger. And then they go on to say, with 16 trillion in tokenized assets projected by 2030 in just 5 years, 60 months, a car loan. This milestone unlocks cost savings and settlement efficiencies by deploying capital markets infrastructure on the XRP Ledger. I love seeing it. I know you do too. And yet Marcus and Fanger puts here, and yet more momentum as the tokenized money market fund from UK asset manager, as we said, ABDIN, launches on the XRP Ledger. An additional, Ripple will allocate $5 million USD into the fund to support the growth of real-world asset tokenization. Love seeing this. And this here is a gentleman talking about the power of the real USD launched on the XRP Ledger and Ethereum network. Take a listen to what he says here. This is the head of structuring at Archax. Take a listen.
That we're seeing two concepts in stablecoin. One being a stablecoin that has a particular, I would say, utility, and that utility could be sitting within essentially a private network of banks or institutions or brokers, and they're using this stablecoin for essentially immediate or what they call atomic settlement. And what that allows is essentially de-risking of the settlement period, rather than in classic times, dealing on a T2, T3 basis. You're dealing now on not even a T0 basis, but an immediate settlement. So, and in that case, that stablecoin exists within a very small group of what you call whitelisted wallets and individuals. Then you've got another concept, which is the much broader stablecoin, which is essentially available to the whole world. It can exist on multiple protocols. It can exist in multiple jurisdictions, subject to the regulatory journey. And generally, in these smart contracts, you would implement what they call a sanctions list, which is essentially prohibiting bad actors utilizing this particular stablecoin. But it's much more focused on addressing some bigger and smaller issues, which is essentially trade finance, dealing with retailers, clearing, and all it is essentially a new settlement layer. We use banks, we use cash, we potentially in time will use CBDCs, but stablecoins are just another route to enable the financial markets to operate in a much more effective way.
And imagine right now, and I think Subjective Views has got it right here. What's the price of XRP months and years after Ripple launches the real USD, which we know is imminent? That's right. Nowhere close to where it is now. Give Subjective Views a follow. I think they got that one on point. I certainly agree with it anyway. Look at this right here. This is a reminder of Graham Rodford here, who is the Archax. Take a listen to what he said not long ago. Remember this guy?
Great segue into stablecoin. As you know, Ripple launched its own stablecoin second half of this year. And so what role do you see stablecoins playing in all this?
Yeah, I think everyone puts things in the buckets, I think, or at least I do, crypto and stablecoins and then RWA, digital securities. But the reality is the securities piece, the real value only comes when you have something like RLUSD able to be used in line with the security. So, for example, if you want to have, everyone talks about atomic settlement, but when you go and look at most atomic settlement offerings in the space, all they are database entries where they're swapping beneficial ownerships of cash and tokens. But if you actually have someone buying an asset using a stablecoin and someone selling an asset on the same technology, that's something that didn't really exist before. In the traditional world, the fiat rails are over here, your asset rails are over here, and you have to try and make them talk. But if they're on the same technology, then you can ask questions. If you've delivered this and you've delivered that, then settle. You can start paying corporate actions using stablecoins. You can, part of the interest and dividends that now exist in our system, we can pay out in XRPL. So if you've got a distributing fund, we could pay RLUSD out as a dividend, or we could pay scrip dividends of more of the same shares on XRPL. So, stablecoins really are one of the big keys to unlocking this space. So, it's great you guys are going into the space, and great that Jack's leading it as well, because Jack's a great guy.
There you have it. So he's excited too, and we see the projection for the next 5 years. And this is a reminder here that, Archax is working with MultiChains, ladies and gentlemen, not just one. So they're working with multiple chains, and you can see right there the other chains that they're working with. But look at these numbers, for instance, here. These are massive numbers we're talking about. Asset manager funds that Archax has tokenized on HBAR. BlackRock, 10 trillion asset under management. State Street, 4.12 trillion under management. Fidelity, 4.9 trillion assets under management. Crypto total market cap right now, 3.26 trillion. You see this? That's why when you hear people talk about, XRP being the #1 market cap at some point, it's because of the level of utility that it can provide to the new digital era of finance. That's why legislation is so important. This is why so many influencers have taken this down crypto winter to try to say that XRPLedger is outdated, it's no longer valid, all of this crazy nonsense talk. It's because they lack the mind of an adult, right? We need legislation. And the reality is we're about to get it. And we're finally getting someone who is a pro-crypto president who in his first term was not. So there's lessons learned there. And he sees the value of this technology and innovation, not only what it can do for finance, but what it can do to put people back to work and help create the middle class again. Because we're talking about an entire new industrial revolution, the fourth industrial revolution, in fact. That's why I'm so excited. And here we see the circles becoming complete: private side chains, Ethereum virtual machine, smart contracts, custom change, and tokenized assets. It's all coming together, and we see the relationships that are building to complete that giant circle of everything. Shout out to Chad. Anthony Welfare, former Ripple advisor here. He says, cheers to having a proper career. At a recent conference, I mentioned to many attendees and on stage in my keynote that I truly believe we are at the rocket adoption phase of blockchain technology. And part of this is due to the Trump effect, where he has importantly taken a pro-innovation stance to blockchain. And he's absolutely right about this. And shout out to Anthony there. Strap in for the rocket adoption phase. And I'm strapped in, ladies and gentlemen. And we know Howard Lutnick has been selected as the Commerce Department head, and he is also at Cantor Fitzgerald, where the reserves are kept for USD Tether. And Lutnick has been aiming to strengthen his alliance with one of the most controversial names in crypto, with the U.S. government, Tether Holdings. And we know that they're being investigated by the U.S. government. And we also know that Howard Lutnick wanted the U.S. Treasury spot and got into a huge argument with Steve Bissett, who actually was selected for the U.S. Treasury spot. Some people say the Commerce Department was just like a honorary figurehead position because he's not going to get the U.S. Treasury position. And there was some infighting there, but that's how it shook out. And now Lutnick is working to try to get Tether a better relationship with the U.S. government. Hang close, ladies and gentlemen. Some people are calling for a pullback in the near term, sometime here in December and then going into January. If we have that, could that be a result of USD Tether getting its final due? I don't know. I don't know how this shakes out, but we have to watch it very closely because 15 billion more USD Tether have been minted, ladies and gentlemen, just in November. 15 billion. You catching this number here? Right? But Howard Lutnick says that the reserves are there and everything is fine, but we shall see. We shall see. Remember, MiCA regulations for stablecoins have pushed Tether outside of the EU at this point. Now, I remind everybody of this, and I covered this briefly yesterday. Sean, who is a member of the World Economic Forum and the Digital Euro Association, says that breaking HBAR integration into the Federal Reserve to expand the partnership with XRP to enable real USD payments. We know that Ripple is already integrated with FedNow. This makes so much sense. And think about now the confidence that it brings to the market, financial institutions and retail as well, when they find out publicly that the Federal Reserve is working using real USD. Can you imagine? I know I can. Hey, damn right I can. Or having Ripple help settle it for the Fed.
Further. I'm not saying that this is ever going to happen, but just conceptually, you could imagine not FedWire for all, but kind of like a Fed coin, where what the Fed would do is actually just issue these, Bitcoin-like objects, but and they would enforce a par exchange rate with the U.S. dollar. That would eliminate the exchange rate volatility. But they could delegate the clearing of these payments to some third party, some sort of Ripple-like protocol or
yeah, it goes on to say Bitcoin, but we know Bitcoin's not going to work for payments in its current form. So, but, shout out to the Bitcoin. I'm holding it too. But here we have the charts. Let's look at the charts because all of this is in front of us. And what I'm most excited about are two things that lie in front of us. Three. One, they get a favorable pro-crypto SEC chairman to match the rest of the selections that have been made so far for government. And two, we need to see legislation passed for cryptocurrencies that allows this market to thrive and doesn't hold or stall the financial institutions and banks and central banks from participating in this new digital economy with these assets. And number three, will Trump make crypto zero capital gains as been floated out here already? And I want to see all three of those things happen before I start understanding how exactly I want to take positions to exit or not, because I firmly believe, and this is what I'm looking to do, I'm not asking anyone else to. I'm just saying this is what I'm looking for. Those are major keystone moments. I want to see those things happen because I know the real market hasn't really begun until the financial institutions and the banks alike and central banks are all allowed to participate in using these assets in their business model. That's what I've been waiting for. That's what I'm here for. And we are closer than ever. Dark Defender says here, good morning, friends. How are you? I hope you all are good. XRP strolled around our Fibonacci level of $1.44 for a few days. He targets $1.88 and $2.17 for the fifth subwave. Not financial advice. But first, let's close above $1.44 for at least 2 days, he says. So that's what we're looking for. He says, Defenders and Spartans, you will have the enter and exit strategy shortly. Well, we're excited about it. Shout out to Dark Defender. And Eggrag Crypto says, face melting phase and the unicorn. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for what's coming next. You've seen so far is just the warm-up. The face melting phase is upon us. This sounds like rocket adoption, like Anthony Welfare. By the way, the unicorn was chosen by his middle daughter, and my son picked a bull. He said, but I always side with my daughters. Sorry for the son there. You got backseated on that one. But nonetheless, as Digital Asset Investor says, stay steady, stay strong, or he says, stay steady, stay strong. Digital Asset Investor says, we are the good guys, and in the end, the good guys win. And I couldn't agree with it more. Shout out to him and Eggrag Crypto. Face melting phase starts up here in the $3 range. If we get above that, you know what happens, ladies and gentlemen. That all-time high turns into support. And when that turns into support, we have to wonder, where's the next new all-time high? I'm excited. We could see $13 to $27 with the supernova moment. It's not guaranteed, but these are things to pay attention to. And as I have said, could the selection of a pro-crypto SEC chairman help the matter? Could legislation passing help the matter? And could no capital gains on crypto matter? I think so, but it's not advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'm going into the Freedom Zone, and boy, do I hope you come with me today. We have got a lot to do in this Freedom Zone. It's going to be busy today, and I hope you'll join us. digperspectives.com, the Freedom Zone. We're getting our country back, and it's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to restore a middle class. We're going to bring it back, baby, and so much more, and I can't wait. You can support the channel for almost the next to nothing, a cost of a cup of coffee per month. digperspectives.com, Freedom Zone. Click it and come on in. We're going in right now. All right.